When the Dallas Mavericks traded for Kyrie in February 2023, the reactions were, let's just say, mixed. Critics, fans, and the media all had something to say, and not much of it was good. Stephen A. Smith, as we all know him, wasn't holding back either. He straight up said Kyrie should retire, claiming,
"Let me say this straight up and down. I think Kyrie Irving should retire. I think he should announce his retirement today. Clearly, you don't want to play basketball bad enough."
Well, let's rewind a bit here. Kyrie had just left the Brooklyn Nets in a less than glorious exit. His time in New York with Kevin Durant was a roller coaster, to say the least. 0 conference finals appearances, injuries that kept him out of crucial playoff runs, and off-court controversies that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. It was basically a 3.5-year stretch of unfulfilled potential. People were genuinely wondering if he'd ever contribute to winning again, or just kind of fade into a spectacular what if. And it wasn't just Stephen A. chiming in. Kendrick Perkins also had some choice words calling Kyrie confused.
First of all, listening to Kyrie Irving, I see a brother that's confused. We applaud Kyrie Irving for what he does in the community. But when it comes to his basketball knowledge, when it comes to his decision making, he's horrible.
Harsh words from Perk, who, let's be real, him criticizing someone's basketball knowledge is like Shaq criticizing bad free throw shooting. You had critics wondering if 2 ball-dominant isolation scoring guards could ever find success together in the playoffs. There were questions about their roles, their defense, and whether Luka could get the best out of Kyrie. Even Shaq himself had his observations.
You know, Kobe was going to do what he do. You throw it in the Shaq. Like, we fed off each other. These 2 guys, in my opinion, they're the same player. They need the ball, 9, 10, 11 seconds, dribble between their legs, and to, go off what Jamal said, your turn, my turn. I don't think you're going to win like that. One of those guys, I don't think they want to, is going to have to learn how to play without the ball.
Fast forward a year, and here we are. Luka and Kyrie are proving everybody wrong. The Mavericks have great potential to win the NBA Finals. And led by these 2 stars, Dallas has become an elite team defying all the doubts and criticisms. But even with their success, there are still doubters, because of course there are. Even after taking down the top-seeded OKC in 6 games, you'd think the Mavericks would be recognized as legit title contenders. But if you turned into TNT's Inside the NBA, you'd see that was not the case. Despite their impressive performance, the Inside the NBA crew unanimously picked the Timberwolves to prevail in the Western Conference Finals. But before we dive any deeper into all that, meet today's video sponsor, OddsJam, your ultimate ally in the world of data-driven wagering. With over 260 sportsbooks under its belt, OddsJam is the go-to platform for savvy bettors. Here's how it works. OddsJam's arbitrage tool scans the market in real time, spotting differences in betting lines across various sportsbooks. This means you can lock in risk-free profits by betting on both sides of the market. But that's not all. OddsJam also provides a positive EV calculator to optimize your bets and a handy bet tracker to monitor your profits. By using OddsJam, you're not just betting smarter, you're betting responsibly for long-term profitability. And here's the kicker, they offer a 7-day free trial. Ready to give it a shot? Use code UNLIMITED for a 35% discount on your first month. Secure your bets with confidence, make informed decisions with OddsJam. All right, back to the video. Charles Barkley picked the Timberwolves. He even howled at the moon like he was turning into a werewolf.
I like the Wolves.
You didn't howl.
That's not unusual.
Oh!
No, we don't need that.
Oh!
Then there's Kenny Smith, who cautiously agreed with his co-host, siding against the Mavericks, but he seemed more hesitant, stating,
I have, man. I
you know what?
say it will be the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Even Ernie Johnson ended up siding with Barkley and Smith, saying this.
There's some kind of vibe surrounding the Timberwolves this
Something
year.
going
I mean,
on.
when you,
I
you have that kind of year, your coach gets a knee injury and he's addressing his troops on crutches, and you come back and you win this series, coming back the way they did in Denver. I just have a feeling Minnesota's going to the NBA Finals.
They were all on the same page, doubting the Mavericks despite their recent success. Even when the Mavs were up 3-0 against Minnesota.
Let me throw this out at y'all and see what y'all think about this. I'm going to say the biggest reason the Mavs are up 3-0 is because of Anthony Edwards. Because you opened your mouth about Kyrie Irving. That's what I'm going to say.
Stephen A. had to come up with all sorts of reasons for their success other than the fact that they're just really talented. But let's be real, does Kyrie Irving really need extra motivation to make it back to the NBA Finals for the first time since he left Cleveland? And I'm sure you don't either. Yeah, I'm sure Kyrie got some added motivation from those comments, but to say it's the biggest reason the Mavs put the Timberwolves in a 3-game hole? Come on, that's a stretch. But thankfully, Brian Windhorst perfectly fired right back at him.
I got Kyrie, those 3 words, I got Kyrie, that's considered trash talk? I mean, that's why they're up 3-0. It has nothing to do with the Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic relationship that has been building for 13, 14 months now. It has nothing to do with the play of the rookies coming together. It has nothing to do with the midseason trades. It has nothing to do with Jason Kidd's game plan. It has nothing to do with the symbiosis of the 2 guards working together in crunch time.
Exactly. This is Stephen A. Smith's game. He ignores the bigger picture and just pushes his own little narrative for attention. The Mavs' success is a team effort. It's about the way Luka and Kyrie have learned to play off each other, the way the team has come together, and the smart adjustments Kidd has made throughout the series too. The Mavericks have transformed into a serious title contender. PJ Washington, a former 12th overall pick from Kentucky, has been a solid addition, averaging 15 points per game in his final full season with the Hornets and bringing some decent defensive metrics too. Then there's Daniel Gafford, whose rim protection has been impressive for a few years now. And as always, every team that's contending for a title needs that guy to step up. And that guy for the Mavericks has been Derrick Jones. Jaden Hardy has also been a key contributor off the bench too. You can't tell me this roster isn't the most talented Doncic has ever had. Even compared to the 2022 Western Conference Finals squad, this team is on another level. I mean, that team was relying on second rounders and undrafted free agents in key spots. But now they have first round talents and lottery picks filling up most of the starting lineup and rotation. And let's not forget about Derek Lively. The Mavericks struck gold with this draft pick. Despite his recent injury, his impact has only grown as the season progressed. No one expected him to be this good this quickly. But even with all this talent and their dominant performance, Stephen A. Smith has continued to throw shade at the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. It's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last. Earlier this season, Stephen A. was all praise for Joel Embiid after a high-scoring game, and he said this.
So what this says to me when I did the message that Embiid send to the rest of the NBA, this brother is phenomenal, arguably the best big man in the game. He's going for the championship. He's not trying to mess around. He already got the league MVP.
Pretty powerful words for Embiid, and deservedly so. But then Luka Doncic shocked the NBA world, dropping 73 points in a single game against the Atlanta Hawks, the highest scoring game since the late Kobe Bryant's legendary 81-point performance. And this wasn't just a career high for Luka, it was a franchise record and tied for the 4th highest scoring game in league history. Surprise, surprise, not everyone was on board with celebrating Luka's brilliance. Instead of acknowledging Luka's incredible achievement, Stephen A. Smith tried to diminish it.
Mike, let's not go overboard with this. The fans want this? No, the league wanted it. Did you see that?
Are you sure?
I mean, that was a layup. The Atlanta Hawks, no wonder why y'all stink. Did you see how they played defense last night? I mean, this is not Joel Embiid who played Billy Ball because you know what, you have a thin Victor Wembanyama on you. We understand that. We expect that.
So let me get this straight. When Embiid scores big, it's because he's dominant and it's great for the NBA. But when Luka does it, it's because the other team played bad defense? I mean, that's basically the definition of a double standard, right? And let's not forget, Embiid's team got eliminated in the first round. The Mavericks have lost only 4 games this postseason, taking down the 7th, 3rd, and 2nd best teams in the NBA. This team is on fire. Yet here we are, some of us still questioning just how good this team is. The Mavs have proven themselves to be legitimate title contenders, and it's time to call out those who doubted them. And most people were doubting their defense, but they locked down the rim and the paint, making it really tough for opponents to score, even with the importance of the three-point shot. Their defense is the real deal, and it's a big reason why they are where they are currently. Now let's talk about the media backtracking on their harsh criticism of Kyrie Irving. Remember when Stephen A. Smith said Kyrie should retire? Well, here's what he's saying now.
Very few people on the planet have been more critical of Kyrie Irving than me over the last several years. I haven't said a negative word about him this year because there's nothing negative to say. He has been phenomenal. He's been a phenomenal player. He's been a phenomenal leader. He's been a phenomenal citizen. an ambassador for the game of basketball, to transition, to get away from the noise that was so self-inflicted on so many occasions, to get to transition to a point of near perfection. I can't say enough about him. You look at his teammates, they love him. You look at the organization, Nico investing in him, Jason Kidd investing to him. Even when he was celebrating and doing Ramadan and what have you, they catered to everything that he needed. He feels loved, he feels respected and appreciated, and he's repaid the Dallas Mavericks organization, I would say, by eclipsing expectations. We expected greatness on the basketball court from Kyrie Irving. We didn't expect this.
But Stephen, and
he's been phenomenal.
We've got
phenomenal.
Quite the turnaround, huh? And Stephen A. isn't the only one eating his words. Kendrick Perkins also recently apologized to Kyrie, saying,
We start pulling and applauding for Kyrie Irving. We need to start getting these apologies out there, okay? They need to be as loud as everybody were when they were criticizing Kyrie, and I'm one of them. Let me start off by apologizing, because I had a lot of disrespectful things to say about Kyrie. I thought Kyrie didn't give a damn about the game of basketball, but a different situation, a different coach, a team that's going to embrace him, a team that's going to actually be on his side, we're seeing the best version of Kyrie Irving right now. And what he has done.
Perkins is actually calling for loud apologies from everyone who criticized Kyrie, and he's absolutely right. The entire ESPN staff, especially Stephen A. Smith, owes Kyrie a big apology. They've been proven wrong, and it's time to give credit where it's due. Luka now has the sidekick he's always needed in Kyrie Irving. He is Batman and Kyrie is Robin. And Kyrie has proven to be the most impressive teammate Doncic has ever had. Together, they have this chemistry and fit on the court unlike anything we ever could have imagined. Kyrie Irving understands that Luka is the star, and he's adjusted his game without sacrificing his own impact for the sake of the team. Kyrie is thriving off the ball. He's sprinting off back screens, cutting into open spaces, and showcasing his efficiency even without a live dribble. Look at the numbers. During the 2015-16 regular season, with Irving on his way to helping LeBron James lead Cleveland to its first championship, only 29% of his baskets were assisted. This season, that number is at 48%. And when it comes to layups and dunks, only 19% of his shots were assisted in 2015 and 16. Now he's at 51%. Dallas is on the doorstep of its first finals in more than a decade, and Kyrie and Luka are the reasons why. It's that simple. And there are familiar aspects to each of their games, the feathery jump shot and the wizardry with the ball, but Kyrie has evolved in ways that make this partnership with Luka something special. I mean, Game 3 is a perfect example of this. Luka dropping 33 points and Kyrie also scoring 33 points in 42 minutes, shooting 60% from the floor and 40% from three. He dropped 14 points in the fourth quarter alone. I mean, these guys are completely destroying their haters. All right, that's it for this one. Let us know what you thought down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the episode if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.